Hello, everybody out there in the YouTube world and on Facebook Live world. We are WordPress St. Petersburg. Welcome back to another Ask Us Anything from WordPress St. Petersburg. This is our crowdsourcing WordPress support workshop. I am Jim True, the lead organizer for WordPress St. Petersburg, and below me in the chat are Elaine Simmons and Jen Novak. They are my co-lead organizers. We are missing Travis Lopes this week because he is taking a break. So, without further ado, we shall get started. I think I'm actually on the wrong screen. Maybe not. It says December 7th there. I'm a little freaked out. Oh, I am on the wrong screen. I'm sorry. We need to back up here. Okay, there we go. All right. WordPress St. Petersburg. We meet monthly on the first Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. online only through 2021. Our meetup address is meetup.com/WordPress St. Petersburg. That's hyphens in between the WordPress, the Saint, and the Petersburg, and it's ST. Our website is wptampabay.org. On our website, we have a Slack chat, or links to our Slack chat, our Facebook group, and our meetups. We also have all of our prior history of all the live streams we've done, all the in-person events we've done, anything we videoed, etc. Slides, the whole bit. It's all there. We are a member of the WordPress Tampa Bay Network. What that is a loosely affiliated group of meetup groups that meet throughout Tampa Bay. Obviously, we used to meet a lot more prior to the pandemic. Now, the only ones that are regular meeting are us and occasionally Newport Richey. I think Tampa's been taking a hiatus, and I think Brandon, Newport Richey, has also taken a hiatus. I'm currently in Lakeland, so I'm not sure if we're going to be rolling WordPress Lakeland into our group or not. We'll find out. Our upcoming meetups and events. Next month, November 2nd, we're having an Ask Us Anything crowdsourcing WordPress support workshop. Wow, sounds just like what we're doing right now. Should be fun. We're probably going to talk about I put a poll out for the best plugins or your favorite plugins. So we might end up going over that at the November 2nd one. I didn't put it up early enough on the Facebook group. And of course, Facebook went down this week. So I think I'm also going to push that out to the Slack group, out through Meetup, and also put it on our website so that we have a couple other different sources to go through and try to get some more feedback from that prior to talking about that in November. And in December, we're also having an Ask Us Anything crowdsourcing WordPress support workshop. Wow. We love answering your questions. It's a fun thing to do. Okay, we're looking for speakers. You can be talking about WordPress, web design, front end, back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to web design or WordPress. If you're an entrepreneur or you do entrepreneur type services or you've started a business and you rely heavily on WordPress, that can also be an opportunity to speak. Any kind of tips and tricks along those lines are always quite good. If you've never spoken public before, that's not a problem. We're live now, like doing live stream. So it's just like you're talking to yourself and to other people usually. So it's not a big scary thing anymore, even though there may be all of 5 people watching you. So like right now, we have 5 people watching us. It's also great for your resume, your LinkedIn or your Twitter. If you're interested, go to our website, click on the speakers link, and then below that is a call for speakers. Our code of conduct tonight, there are no stupid questions except the one you didn't ask. If you don't ask a question, we can't answer it. We do pull questions from our Meetup signups. When you RSVP on Meetup, we ask you a question at that time. It's like anything you want to learn or anything you would like us to look into or answer for you. And we pull those into these questions tonight. But we also take questions live from the audience. And if you want to do that, we'll be talking about that shortly. We limit discussing your question to about 10 to 15 minutes, and that way we can get through everything tonight. Any more than 15 minutes, honestly, from one of us discussing it, and you're going to be needing to hire a consultant. Everyone gets to speak tonight, but please no crosstalk. It's even more, crosstalk is like when you speak over the top of someone. When we used to meet in person, it would be folks having conversations at the back of the room, and it would get really loud and noisy, and it'd be really hard to focus and help everybody. On a live stream, people cross-talking creates feedback and all manner of nastiness. So that's why we try to keep everybody speaking one at a time. Our Dialin Etiquette tonight, we're using StreamYard, excuse me, for our live stream. The invite link is posted on Facebook and on our YouTube chat. When you click that link, you'll be given the link to the guest instructions. They're here on the page here right now, but the link's also available to you when you click the link. Basically, it walks you through how to configure your microphone and your camera and make sure that you've tested your mic and speakers first properly. Also, if you're watching the stream through Facebook or YouTube and you come into our live stream, make sure that you mute the audio in the window where you're watching the stream. Otherwise, you'll get into like a horrible little feedback loop and we'll have to mute you. Okay? All right. Questions? Ask us anything. Let's get started. Let me stop sharing my little chat box over there. And I'll take the first question from Meetup, which I think is from Tracy Ford. It's a question about uploading video. So she asked to help. She needs help on uploading video. So for uploading video, you've got two options usually. We highly recommend specifically get a YouTube account because it's free. Or Vimeo. I think, is Vimeo free, Jen? I can't remember. Okay. Yeah. Either Vimeo or YouTube, upload your videos to that and link them to your website from there. Storing the media on your WordPress installation is really, it'll take up a lot of your disk space. You'll get charged from it by your host. And that the playthrough feedback of actually playing the videos back and forth from your site will actually cost you quite a bit of bandwidth. If you're offering it from YouTube or Vimeo, you don't get charged for that bandwidth. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it'll be faster for users as well.
Yeah, because YouTube highly automatically optimizes your playback and will buffer properly so that it shows properly. WordPress automatically provides an embed for YouTube. If you basically just cut and paste the YouTube in, it'll automatically show in there, or you can, inside the block editor, you have an option to type in the word YouTube or embed, and it'll give you a link for that. Works really well. YouTube also gives you
search engine optimization as well, because it's the second most used search engine. So if you're looking for traffic, I mean, it's good to make sure you're filling in the title, the description. Make sure you're filling in that. You can click in like the target audiences or what the videos about, some hashtags in there, just to get the right volume and the right audience, so that can bring traffic from YouTube to your website.
Also, the closed caption, like the accessibility features of YouTube.
Oh yeah, because they closed caption really immediately. Yeah, that's a really good point, Elaine. Yeah, it's, to me, doing it through YouTube and Vimeo just makes more sense all the way around the board. You can host your own video, but you're going to be dealing with a lot of things. And a lot of them come down to, will your host even allow you to store video on your site? And they may charge you extra for streaming it. So that was that question. I think Lisa's actually on the call now, and she was the next person who asked a question for Meetup. So Lisa, we're going to bring you into the call. Hey, Lisa. You're on mute at the moment. Oh, yeah, there you go. Welcome.
I caught up. Hi, how are you?
Good. You want to ask the same question you put on Meetup?
Yeah, but I know there's no such thing as a stupid question, but I feel stupid about it because I feel like everybody understands child themes except for me.
No, you're actually, that's a lot of people don't get it at all. Basically, a child theme is a kind of a link to the original theme so that you make all your changes in your child theme and it doesn't get overwritten when the theme gets updated. So like if you had I guess the best example would be is like you install a plugin from WordPress and there's something about it you don't like and you want to make a change to it. For developers, that means you usually have to know coding and you have to write some special code that goes in and just filters something to change on that particular plugin to make it work the way you want. Really complicated stuff. But then you realize, oh crap, where do I put that? Well, they say the functions.php file for your theme. Well, if you throw it in the functions.php file for your theme, it's going to get overwritten every single time your theme gets updated. So you have to have a child theme in order to place that file. So child themes used to be really easy. They used to be a style sheet that you would create. You'd follow the format from WordPress.org, and you would just put that file in a directory, and that was pretty much it. All of a sudden, boom, you have a child theme. Because in that style sheet, you would link to the style sheet from your parent theme, and that's all you would do. Real straightforward. They've since made it really complicated at WordPress. So what I do now is I use, let me see, I found a plugin called Child Theme Configurator. Let me find it real quick. Here it is. Okay. It's called Child Theme Configurator, and it basically says, it explains the same thing I just did. A child theme is a WordPress template that inherits all features and characteristics of another theme called the parent theme. Creating a child theme allows you to edit or add functionality to your template without having to overwrite any of the parent theme files, risking making mistakes or losing your job when you make updates. Nice little comment there, losing your job. This particular plugin will generate a child theme in a few steps quickly and safely. It will not slow down your website or spam your database. It was updated 3 months ago. There was another child theme configurator, but it was not. It was also updated 3 months ago, but it wasn't tested through the latest version of WordPress. So I'm recommending this one. It worked really well. I'm gonna share another screen that is my local copy of a WordPress site, and I will show you how it works. So give me a second. If I'm talking too fast, holler at me. Okay. Let's see, is it that one? Yeah, it's that one, I think. Okay. Yeah, that's the website. So let me go back in here. So I'm on this theme here. I'm running GeneratePress right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch themes to like 2020. Because what was the one you had to do? Well, I actually already did it. Earlier today, I created one from the 2021 theme. I made a 20 child from this theme configurator. So what I'm going to do now is, let me go ahead and plugins. It's called Child Theme Configurator, and you create a child theme. My parent theme is GeneratePress, which is my currently active one. Give it a new name, Generate Child. And you can give it a description if you want to, child theme of GeneratePress. You don't have to do this because this only matters if you're going to post it somewhere. The author is you. It's fine. And you say include the GP. All of this stuff is silly, but you basically just go create new child theme. And then you activate child theme and finished. And if I go in now to my appearances, Generate Child is now my active theme. So I can actually customize this particular theme, and it will not be changed if I decide to update GeneratePress. So basically, GeneratePress is kind of a good one because if you use the Pro version of GeneratePress, you can export and import your settings from all the premium modules and stuff and all the customized settings. You don't have that opportunity to do that in the free version. But the premium version, you can basically export all of your special settings. So honestly, I never do a child theme with GeneratePress because I know I can always export all my configured stuff that way. However, the one thing it wouldn't do is if I actually had like child theme files. Like if I had created a couple of little extra files to show content in a specific way, it would not grab those. So that would be why you would use a child theme for that. Does that make sense, Lisa?
I'm starting to catch on a little bit more. I think every time I'm exposed to it, I catch on a couple more pieces.
Okay. Well, like, I would try to, let me see if I can demonstrate it. Let's see. Yeah, let me see if I can demonstrate it. So let's go back and change the theme to 2020. This one activate. And let's say I went in here to customize. Actually, this would probably not be a good example because all of these settings typically are stored in the database. like all your customized settings are stored in the database at the theme level. So like if you switch themes, all of them will come back. They'll still be stored in the database underneath like post meta or options meta for the particular theme. However, if you go into the theme editor here and look, it's going to scream at you, say, "Oh, you appear to be making edits to your theme in the WordPress dashboard. We don't recommend this. You should really use a child theme." So I understand that, but I'm stupid. So I'm going to go in right now and I'm going to make changes to this theme. Like, I don't like the way the styles work. So I'm going to go down here and change the margin left to 70% or something. I don't know. I'm just being crazy. I'm going to make all kinds of nasty stuff. Let's see. Let's find a color. Black. I'm going to make it blue. And I'm going to update the file and see what happens. So if I go to the site now, oh look, I pushed the margin all the way to the far right. So now if I go in and I download that theme again, so let's go into themes, appearances, themes. Let's switch to another theme real quickly. Actually, I want to delete this theme, so I want to activate this one. I want to go in and delete 2021, which is the one I was just working on. So I want to, I don't think it's going to let me delete it, is it? Where do you delete themes?
Hover over it, hover over the theme, and click theme details.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
And then you go to delete.
And then delete. Bye-bye, you. I don't like you anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and delete, add it again. I'll bring it back. So it'll be that one. So install and activate. And what you'll notice is, if I go back in, oh look, all the changes I just made to the style sheet, they're gone. If I had made hundreds of changes to that, they'd be completely wiped away. So the goal would be is that instead you use, I think I did that one. Let's make sure though. If I go into, I'm pretty sure I did that one. Let's find out, because I can't remember if it was that one or another one, but I think it was that one. So if I go to this one now and activate and view the site, nope, wrong one. I had a feeling. Okay. You know what? I can do it with that one too. It's fine. I'm going to do the exact same process. I'm going to go in and change that hideous background to something else. So appearance, theme editor, and look, my child theme is so much cleaner. Body, background, purple, because I'm weird. Ta-da! So now, this is a child theme. So like if I go in and I re-download that particular theme, or it gets an update. But in this case, we're going to pretend it got an update. So I'm going to delete it, which is this one. So theme details. Oh, I can't delete it because it's active. Rude. Okay. Mean, evil, WordPress, keeping me from doing something destructive and horrible. Okay, so that was 20, that was this one? Okay, so I'm going to install it. Activate it, and then I'm going to go back and activate my child theme again. So my child theme is purple, and I'm still purple. Does that make sense?
Yes. Is it kind of like, it's kind of like, don't screw with the original. With child themes, you can play with it.
Yep.
And then if you make problems, you're not going to break anything, kind of like that.
That is correct. You can. They're really good when you. I mean, if you actually know PHP and you know how to edit the theme files, they're really good for that. Because, well, I mean, let me show you some of the other stuff. Like in the child theme version, if I go back into the theme editor, you're going to see there's only two files. There's a style sheet, which is just the styles, and this style sheet gets loaded after the parent-child, sorry, after the parent theme style sheet. So this style sheet goes in last. So it will override anything that's actually in the parent style sheet. But the same thing happens with this functions file here. This functions file, if we need to add stuff in, like if I'm using Gravity Forms and I've got to do a whole bunch of little filters to some of the specific things to make them work the way I want, or I'm using pods, or I don't know, there's a million plugins out there that require you to do code just for the fun of it. You put it here and you have your own perfect little home for that stuff. And that way it doesn't get lost. And you can back this file up separately. This will never get overwritten when the theme gets overwritten. So that's another good thing about it too. So it makes sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Let me change this color. Let me see. Color white. There we go. Let's see how bad this looks now. What? That should have changed this. I hate WordPress. Sorry, they're too specific. They probably got they probably got black set at the content level, and so I can't even like overwrite the main. Like this is so annoying because like the menu is white with text, but like nothing. I just did a color white on the back at the body level, and nothing changed. So that is pretty bad. So I wonder if I do body asterisk, maybe.
You could try it.
Yeah. Nope. Oh yeah, it worked. It worked on those at least. And pretty much overwrote everything else too. Isn't that gorgeous? Yummy. So pretty. Okay. All right. So let's change the theme back to any other questions while we got you on the call?
Not right now.
Okay, cool. I'm going to drop you back in the green room. We've got cookies and delicious stuff in there. Actually, you're the only one here, I think. So if you want to stay on in, you can. Yeah, Tim Smith's
That's
out
fine.
there, I think. Let's see. I'm checking my Meetup list to see if there's any other questions out there in Meetup land. There are no other questions in Meetup land. So we are pretty much done with the questions for the evening unless someone asks a question in our chat. We have 7 people watching. Ask us questions, people, or join the call. So since we have nobody asking questions at the moment,
We were going to do
let's go.
Gutenberg block.
I was going to do a little bit of the Gutenberg changes, the editing stuff, the new things that came with the most recent version of WordPress. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Let me make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. Okay, so I wanted to play with the query loop thingy because I found it. I wanted to see how it worked. Because in the old days, when you had a theme, you had to okay, your typical theme, like this one here. It's doing a loop. A loop is basically I'm going through the list of posts on your website, and I'm going to show you every one of them. And that was your primary loop. Was like the if post, show post, end post, or something, or do post. I can't remember exactly what the PHP is for it, but that was it. It was basically the query loop. It queried the database, asked what posts you had out there, and showed them. But the same methodology works for pretty much every single thing on your site. So like if I actually go into this post, the loop is called in order to show this, and then since it knows it's a single post template, it actually shows the comments. If I went into a page, it did the exact same thing. It opened up the loop and showed me everything that was part of the page. So the same process works for custom post types. So like if I go into my dashboard, I added 2 custom post types for books and authors. So like if I go in here and view one of these things, the loop is called to show this, to show the featured image, the title, and any content. But let's say I wanted to create a special template for books because I wanted them to be seen a certain way. Well, if I needed to do that, in the past, I would have to create a PHP template and try to figure out how to do that properly. So now what happens is you basically say new book list, and you choose let's hide that thing. There we go. Get that out of the way. Query loop. There we go. So it took me a bit to figure this out, because I was going, start blank. What does that mean? I guess what that means is that you could start with a blank block here. That would be a template for each of your items within that post list, within the loop. So like in this case, the loop is going to basically give me a title, a featured image, etc., that kind of a thing, and the block and a read more link, and then the date. And this is the template it's going to show me for that particular post. Or I could do a grid, and it'll give me a standard, an image at left, small image and title, or a grid. I think that's what this is. Or like this is like a block gallery. That's really hideous. But it took me forever to find out where the settings were for the loop itself. Because what happens is when you add the query list, you're in the query loop. That's the post template for the actual post. And then within the post template is a group with the post title, the post excerpt, and the post date. Wow. But to edit the settings for the query loop, you have to actually go into the query loop, and here's where they actually are. They're underneath settings. So I still think they need to make this a little easier because this is really confusing to people who don't know what they're doing. But you can have it query the different post types on your site. So I could go book, and I could go newest to oldest, oldest to newest, A to Z. And if I wanted to do additional filters, I could. None of mine had post excerpts, so I don't know if I can change those. Nope, I can't. Ugh. It's a grid view. I tried to change the card for this, but I couldn't even find that. So it's kind of confusing to me, I thought. Doing this, like there's no, like typically inside your Beaver builders and all that kind of stuff, they make this a little easier. This is definitely not up to that level yet, I don't think. Of course, somebody's going to probably come along now and say, it's real easy, Jim, you just have to do it right. But I have yet to figure it out. But I did do one earlier today, so I'm going to go to that page now instead and show you that one. I did this one, the book list. And we'll edit it with the block editor. And you can kind of see it's a list. It's got featured images and a title. It has columns, and the first column is the post featured image, and the second column is the post title. And if I wanted to add, I don't know if I can, I don't think I can add any pod stuff now, but next week after Tuesday, I can. I have access to pods blocks next week after Tuesday. So I will be coming back to revisit most of this next week and the week after and the week after, and possibly do another little bit of talk on that one as well. But the nice thing is that it does actually create a not bad template here. I think what I chose was the card view first, and then that allowed the featured image to show. And then basically you could have it show an excerpt here if you wanted to, I guess. Let me see if I can choose that. Excerpt. Nope. Yes, post excerpt. So add read more link text. I don't know where that is. No post excerpt found. Add read more link text. Okay. Apparently that works. So you update it, and if I view the page now, look, all of those little read mores got fixed. So that's not bad. So if I go into this post now and edit it, and go into the excerpt, which is, where is the excerpt on a, that's the worst thing for me is finding these things on the block editor, because I don't know where they are. That's visibility, content. Nope, not in there. Is it? If anyone knows where it is and wants to tell me, tell me.
What are you looking for?
The post excerpt, where you would actually input it. Let's see. I don't see it on there. Because I would think it'd be showing. It should be. Let me see. Hang on. Get rid of that. Maybe if I go. Oh, I hid my little side box, didn't I? Oh, there it is. Okay. So if I go to this, is it hiding over here? Content title? No. See, it should normally typically be either over here to the right. Yeah, because that's coming from members. But I am not seeing.
Was there something that said content container? And it was a drop down. Maybe you have to drop it down.
Where was that?
Over. It was on the right of the screen. If you scroll down. I don't know what it will.
Maybe it was under the post. Like here?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, content container. Choose your content container type. Oh, that's another one. This is settings from the layout. So this would make it full width or contained. Yeah, that's all that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see the excerpt. Where do they hide the excerpt? On a WordPress block editor. Good question.
Where's the content go? Like,
it would go here. So like if I started typing, I would just go, this is
it in
a great book about Harry and his
So
friends.
where's the, like, click that more fields and see what that is. Maybe that's
pods. That's coming from pods. Yeah, this is what's showing the related author right here. Yeah. So that is where that's coming from. So typically the excerpt was always somewhere.
is it in the, what about that settings at the top? Is it maybe just like by number of characters?
No, typically you have an excerpt box. Like the old WordPress, like if I switch this to the classic editor, let's do that real quick. The excerpt is, oh, hang on, screen options, editor, where in the world is the excerpt? It should be right there. Editor, I know why. I'm being an idiot. This is because it's a pods post type, so give me just a second. We'll turn that on right now. Here we go. Edit pods, books, advanced options, excerpt.
Look at that.
Pod. Ta-da! Here I
Fancy.
was blaming it on WordPress, and it was all me. So if I go back in the edit block editor, let's see where it is now. So, okay. Where are you? Probably in the book settings. Excerpt. There we go. Harry and his friends are hunted by the escaped convict. What was his name? His uncle. I gave it away.
Voldemort.
No.
You got the wrong people.
I know. Oh, come on. You're a Harry Potter fan.
It's been a while.
It's hunted by an escaped convict. My sister is probably killing me right now. If she's watching this, she's going, she's probably screaming through her screen at me right now from Azkaban, from the prison. Azkaban. Okay. So we'll update this. And now if I go back into my book list page, and we'll view it. Ta-da! See? The excerpt showed up, and it did it automatically. So that's kind of the nice idea of using the query loop, is that typically in the past, you would have had to, like a lot of people would do this, they would actually build every single item of this page, or they'd have to write PHP to do it. And the idea is that you would create one post template that fits inside your query loop, and that's this. And that basically, if I go back and edit page again, that is, excuse me, yowza. If I go in here, post template, so this is my post template, and let's say I wanted to, inside this column, let's say I wanted to add the author. So I'm going to add a, let me see, can I do insert block before, insert before? Short code, pods, field equals related author. I think that will work. We will see. Yeah, that should work. It's been a while since I've played in pods, guys. Leave me alone. If that doesn't work, I know it will work. So I'm going to update that and view the page. Nope, did not work. Okay, let's do this the appropriate way. Okay, let's delete this block. I'll do it the way I know that will work. Insert before. We're going to do a pods. Sorry. Should be able to find widgets. I thought widgets were in here. Nope, apparently not. I really did think widgets were in here, but I guess they aren't. They are in a WordPress web on the all of your Beaver builders and stuff like that. You can pull up widgets and actually show them in here. So I'm kind of surprised that WordPress does not let us do that. Nope, does not. Okay, that's kind of sad. Let's try it from here. Nope. Can't get it from there either. Okay. We're going to have to be creative. Pods. Name. Nope. I know this will work. I just have to figure out how to do it. Give me just a second. Short code again.
And this is supposed to make it easier, right?
Yeah. Shut up, Elaine. You can do this in a real game, in a real thing too, you know. Related author. That should work because I'm in the query. So there's no reason this should not work. Let's just put it that way. This absolutely should work because this would work in a WordPress site. Yeah, it's not finding it. So it's in the loop, but it's not in the loop. So there's a bug with the horrible concept of whatever. So I can make this work the hard way. I think it'll still work. Let's see.
Daniel's been making some comments in YouTube.
Oh, hang on. Where are they? Oh yeah, we got a lot of Daniel Shoot-Smiths in there, don't we? And Rick Jaggers too. Oh yes. So what do we think about the recent acquisitions? Let's see. Oh, see now we have real questions. Okay, I'll move away from my little example here that I was playing with, and we'll deal with it another day. Let's go back to the questions from the peanut gallery. All right. You guys are funny. Okay, here's one from T. Smith. How do I keep my script tracking in the theme editor when Astra theme needs an update instead of copying and pasting every time? Okay, you have two options. That was the first one we showed was the child theme configurator, which we showed at the beginning of the thing. Another option you can use is the code snippets plugin.
Yes, that's a really good one.
Yeah, and let me find it real quick for you. Actually, I'm just going to reshare my screen again and install it. That's probably the easiest way, I think. So let me do that again. Share. Okay, so I go to plugins, new site, and we're going to add, and you're looking for code snippets. This one here, right here. This gives you an easier way to deal with. You can use it for CSS code. You can use it for JavaScript. You can use it for basically, the idea is that you can use this to apply CSS to your theme without going to the customizer. You can use this to apply JavaScript to your website without having to plug it into functions.php. And you can also use it to add code to your theme, to your website without having to go through the theme editor or functions.php or anything. It's amazing. Basically,
I really liked it because you can add the documentation in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can add your, like, this is what this does. This is what this code snippet does.
Exactly.
This is the description. This is why I added it. Because in 6 months, when your client comes back and you're like, hey, can we edit this? You can go back to that code snippet and say, okay, we can do that. Or, you know, we can do that, but it might impact this system that we implemented because of whatever business reason they had.
Yep.
So it's nice to have that documentation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lets you run the snippet everywhere.
It's just nice to have it there.
Yeah, it's really nice. You can run it only on the front end, run it in the admin only, run it everywhere, only run it once. And what only run it once, I think, is the same thing as doing an init in PHP. But it works great. I love this thing. It's like one of my favorite. It's my favorite thing since sliced bread. I don't know how the other stuff works, but okay. I have never played with the other stuff. But like a CSS snippet, I've never done a CSS one. Yeah, it's still doing kind of like an add action. Yeah, because it's still a code snippet. It's just doing it through, it's looping it in through your WP head function.
Yeah.
Like this is an anonymous function, I think, is what it's doing.
Yeah. So it just gives you all the extra stuff.
All the wrapper code. The wrapper code. Yeah, like that. So yeah, fun stuff. So like if you needed this to actually go in the footer because everybody says run it in the footer, you would just change that to WP footer instead of WP head. So that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what we recommend, Jim. So hopefully that answered your question. Let's see, Daniel, does the page creator for the query loop override the archive for book slug? Honestly, Daniel, I have no idea. It hasn't been documented well enough, and I haven't been able to watch anybody showing it off in the good way yet. And I really am not a make reader, so I'm not going to go looking through all of WordPress's documentation that doesn't exist yet for this kind of stuff. But I didn't like the fact that I was basically putting it on a page and like creating a page, because again, that's not how you call queries. That's not how you call theme templates. I don't know how they're handling that piece. You know what I mean? Because that part still confuses me. Because typically you would use the slug, what you're talking about, like you go /books/book, and then the title of the book, and that would show you the slug. It would loop through this loop. It would basically go out and say, okay, you've put a post type of book. Book means load that post type, and then the title of the book is the next part of the slug. So it goes and queries the database and goes back and gives me the loop showing that particular theme or loading that particular theme template. I don't know how they're overriding that. I have no clue. So that's right now I don't get. For right now, to me, it's just like adding a page and adding a shortcode on a page to show books or to show a query loop. So let's see. Any other questions? Oh, that's Terrence. Hey, Terrence, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize your handle. It's good to see you. It's been a long time since you've been on here. You should join in. We have nothing else to talk about for a whole 30 minutes or 15 minutes. So the other question is, how does everyone feel about all the recent acquisitions? Honestly, I don't know. If it's just folks have got a whole bunch of venture capital and they're going to come in and completely replace the, clean house or whatever it is. I mean, it's great that maybe some of these struggling plugins are finally getting money and funding and HR and human resources and everything else like that, that's great. But if the thing is are they going to develop them? Are they going to continue, making them what they were, making them actually do something good with them? Because like, if you go and look at the automatic acquisitions, some of those were only done just to take them away so that they had them to be part of WordPress. I think the WooCommerce one made a lot of sense, but if you go back and look at the history of WooCommerce, you find out that WooCommerce was a snatch and grab anyway. So it's, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know how I feel about them without, casting aspersions on the people that did the acquisitions. But I feel like there are a lot of plugins that, could benefit from getting funding. So maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. Anybody else? Any other new questions? No more new questions. How do you guys feel about the acquisitions? Elaine and Jen?
I mean, I always just kind of take a wait and see. I used to get super excited about things and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Now it's like, we'll see what happens. Let's see where it goes.
Review what they are. I know some of them, but
let's see. Well, one of the first ones that came out was Advanced Custom Fields getting bought up by the Delicious Brains guys. And those are the guys that write WP DB Migrate Pro. And they do some other stuff too, but I mean, that's the big one they're known for. That was an unusual one. It was surprising because Elliot has always been like the total owner of his plugin. He's never even hinted at pulling anybody else in, but good thing. So I don't know if it's made any differences yet or not. Another one was Give WP being bought out by Awesome Motive, I think. So, and they had been having issues with, money, that kind of stuff. They hadn't been able to pay their employees well, that kind of thing. So maybe this makes a difference, I hope. What's another one that was recent?
WP Beginner bought Pippin Plugin.
Yes, that was the other one. Thank you. Yes, Pippin Plugins. So I don't know if that's all of it though. Was Easy Digital separate from Pippin's plugins?
Or did he buy
I can't remember.
some of his stuff? I think he bought like most of his stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, and that's
I know.
again.
iThemes got Restrict Content Pro. And that's the one I was using. That was a
Oh, really?
plugins thing, but now that's
okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So he'd already been basically selling off some of his, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the React frame also. That was Frontity?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it just was. There seemed to be so many of them happening all at once, and it's just very funny. That's all I can say. I mean, the two companies that I think that were getting them all were either Chris Lima's or Syed's. And Delicious Brains is not as big a company as either one of those, so I consider that separate from that. But I guess when you think about it too, if you keep going back, the event calendar was bought out by another company. Paid Memberships Pro was bought out by another company, that kind of stuff. So
everything started out so small and dispersed in WordPress. And I mean, that's the nature of business. The bigger companies will buy the smaller, you put the funding in the smaller, and they either want the technology or the knowledge or something.
Or it fits well for whatever they're doing.
Funding behind it and expand it. It just depends on which acquisition.
Yeah, I think with like the events calendar, when they got bought out, that was primarily their company, which I forget the name of now. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I've dealt with them. I mean, we've got several of them over at Gravity Forms. We have several of their former employees over at Gravity Forms, but they were split between agency work and plugin work. And so they basically switched, they left their company just to do agency work, and they sold the plugin to another company and all of the people involved with it. So.
Well, it's good. I mean, we rely on those plugins, so it's nice to know that they'll be going in perpetuity. Like there's someone that's able to put the time and effort into upkeeping and developing.
There was There was a really good talk on one of the podcasts because Scott was on it. Scott Clark of Pods Framework was on it, and it was all about the whole discussion of how do these free plugins, with all their different funding models, how do they survive in this thing? Because a lot of these people are doing it on the side. Like GiveWP, they had a premium model, but their free plugin was, what would get people in the door. And then, of course, them being a nonprofit, you know as well as I do, Jen and Elaine, nonprofits do not pay, and they'll do everything in their power to, get the work for free, even though a nonprofit is a business. A nonprofit still has to have a business model, a business plan that a bank needs to approve in order to stay functional. And if they can't show that, if they can't, if they don't actually make part of their process where their funding is coming from, where their funding is going, what are their necessary operating expenses, which a website is a necessary operating expense of any nonprofit because they've got to take donations. Their donation funding model, whatever handles their donations, the accounting for their donations, all of that has to be part of that business plan. And if that isn't part of their business plan and how to pay for that, they shouldn't be in business. Just that simple. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but I can't tell you how many times we get nonprofits, churches who, good Lord, I mean, I look at the financials for some of these churches and they have billions in funding, and they're asking for free software.
Review
Yeah.
where.
Anyway, okay.
Well, Jim,
Got off on a tangent.
Where's Pods at now? Who owns it, or what's the story?
Pods is still owned by Scott. I mean, it's a free plugin. He has a Pods Pro. He develops plugins on, professional plugins on top of Pods. Several of them are like stuff for the builders, for like the Beaver Builder and all of that kind of stuff. All fall under the Pro umbrella, or not Beaver Builder, but like the Divi Builder and everything else that are specific for Pods are all part of that. There's a special relationships plugin that's only in Pods Pro. It's still funded by donations. Automatic no longer gives them any money, so yeah, that was a huge hit. But they're releasing 2.8 next Tuesday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
So we will see what happens. I haven't gotten to play with it yet, but Scott he was on a GoDaddy podcast today. He was on a couple podcasts a couple weeks back. Yeah. So the buzz is out there. So we're at 7:23 and we have no additional questions. And you guys got me off my tangent with Pods, so I may come back to it again after I get to play with it some more. We'll see. But yeah, I didn't want to have to go into like having to show an entire Pods template thing. And that's just too much work. But I was impressed with the query loop. I was impressed with how easy it was to get that on there. But my biggest question would be is, okay, so I've created a post template and I've created a loop around it. How do I make that become my book archive, within Beaver Builder or within Elementor or within any of those other ones? I basically add that as a template, another template. Every one of those builders calls everything a template, which gets really confusing. I really wish somebody would come up with a new terminology for this stuff. But basically, yes, Beaver Builder Themer has a theme template that you can add that is basically a Beaver Builder page that you design to make it look like this is what a single archive or a book archive looks like. This is what a single page template looks like, and that's how you work those. And that's kind of how Divi Builder works. And that's kind of how Elementor works in a completely more complicated way. So that's all I know. I don't see any other questions out there, so I think we're good. Okay. So, did you guys have anything else you guys wanted to talk about or is on your agenda for today?
No.
Nope. then this is going to be a really quick little call tonight. Thank you again. Lisa, I'm going to drop you back in the green room. Thank you again, Elaine and Jen, for joining me for tonight's call. As always, thank you everyone that dialed in and left your questions, everyone that put a question up on the RSVP for us to do. Make sure that you visit our website at wvtampabay.org. It'll always let you know when our next meetup is. It'll also let you know anything pertinent that we're doing at the moment. Please make sure you like and subscribe to us on YouTube. At some point, we could get monetization if there's enough of you people liking and subscribing to us. I don't even know how many people we have subscribed to us now. Can you tell? Off the top of your head? Let's see. Just because I'm curious.
We had like
around
300, I thought, wasn't it? That number's
Is it only three? Is it only 300?
I don't know why that number's in my head.
Only 300?
How many do you need?
I want, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000. I want one of those little glass awards that shows you, you know, that you get for
YouTube
having.
Button.
Yeah, the gold YouTube button. We have 387 subscribers. We need more. So anyway, if we wanted to do monetization, but you know, it's fine. You guys are here. That's all that really matters. That's all I care about. And without that, let's see, branding, there's the end cap. We will see you again next month, November 2nd, I think it is, for our next Ask Us Anything. We'll also be going over our the poll for most popular plugins. We'll be posting that. I will be trying to post that as soon as I can on our Meetup and on our Slack chat and everything else, and possibly send that out to everybody through email as well, so that folks can complete it, so we can get some good numbers in there. And I'll see you next week, or next month. Have a great Halloween. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching a recorded session from WordPress St. Petersburg Meetup. We meet once a month on the first Tuesday of the month, live streaming online through our YouTube channel and Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos are added. Find out more about WordPress St. Petersburg at our website at wptampabay.org.